In this episode of FTB Skies, I build a contraption that throws food all over the place. We go to the nether and beat up some piggos, and make a good start on our ore processing factory in our search for coal, which we're also throwing through the air, by the way. But before we do any of that, we're going to need something that we just can't really find around here. And that, of course, is a blaze. And we need to capture at least one, ideally some more. And what we're going to capture them in is this. This is a blaze burner. And we're going to use this to create lots and lots of heat, basically, which will enable us to make brass. And unlocking brass is going to make such a difference to what we can do with Create. Not only that, we can also use these as a power source for generating steam and so on. So we'll get into that a bit later as well for a lovely power station. So to get blaze, we do, of course, need to go to the nether. But you know me, I can't just dump a portal down somewhere. So I think what I'm going to do is just build a small island, maybe just something in the middle here, and, well, stick a nether portal on that, and we can theme it, then we can make it look all nethery and nice. Probably not until we've actually gone to the nether to get the blocks, but initially we can at least just dump down an island, can't we? So let's grab some stone and quickly get that done. So I built a small island, I filtered a whole bunch of dust to get more blaze powder, and then I basically bounced up and down on the squeezer for a while to get some lava, and once I had enough obsidian, I carved a few blocks just because I could, built myself a small portal, added a little bit of glass for detail, as well as some leaves and some netherrack in the ground, and then I connected the two islands with a small bridge. And then the addition of a couple of safety bushes and connecting up to the main path meant we were done. And I think we're basically ready to light the portal. I'm hoping it's going to be fine. I don't think I've used any of the weird chiseled obsidian blocks on this, but I'm really actually quite liking how this looks. And hopefully we can get some more nethery type bits on the floor once we actually go to the nether. See if it's going to light. And it does. But I'm not really wearing the right stuff, I don't think, to be able to go to the nether. So let's make ourselves a little bit of armor first, shall we? Now, I know what you're thinking. You're wondering, Beardy, what do you look like? What are you wearing? And I'm going to show you. So from killing those chests that spawn in, we have managed to get some fairly useful gear. We've got stuff that means we can run away when we get hit. We'll set stuff on fire if it attacks us. These give us night vision, which is obviously going to be good. And of course, the hat we've had on the whole time, which gives us an extra level of fortune. And I mean, I could hide the visibility of these. Where's the fun in that? But that's not all. We've got our digging claws, which make us look a little bit like Wolverine. I've got an obsidian skull to protect me from fire. I've got a magnet to draw items towards me. And lastly, I have my spiky feet, which basically mean I'm immune to knockback. So hopefully I won't get knocked off any ledges in the nether. But not only that, of course, I've got some food. I've got 20 blaze burners. I'm obviously very confident I'm going to find some. And of course, a whole bunch of cobble. And I think the last thing I want to do is grab myself a fresh elytra. And to be honest, we can probably actually make a few more rockets. That we can. Look at that. We've got a stack and a half. That'll do. Because I do want to make sure I'm prepared for any eventuality, and that means I can do a little bit of exploring while we're there as well. I am going to hide the digging claws, though, because they really are quite annoying to have them on my screen the whole time. There we go. We don't need to see those. Right, onwards into the nether. What do we got? It is incredibly red. We appear to be in a crimson forest, and by the looks of it, there's absolutely nothing here whatsoever. Okay. Well, let's create ourselves a little platform at least, shall we? So on looking at my map, it's just a void. There's absolutely nothing here. So I guess we're going to have a quick little fly around, just see if anything else does exist in this place. Oh, we found something. What's this? Well, there's a bunch of endermen, there's some piglins, and there's a spawner there. What kind of spawner is that? That is a piglin spawner. Oh, we've got some loot chests, but they're going to get so angry if I open that. And he's wearing netherite, so I don't think I want to anger the piggos just yet. So it looks like I might be able to get away with opening this chest. There's no piggos on this side. They might see me, though. Let's just block them off for a little bit, shall we? Oh, what's all this? Gem of the Warlord. That sounds like fun. Splash potion, lodestone, e-spawn egg. Diamond helmet, some shards, processors. Okay, yeah, not too bad. I do kind of want to search some more boxes now. Problem is, they're going to get very, very angry as soon as I do that. And I don't have a bucket with me, so I can't lava them. Do you reckon if I punch one and then run this way, they'll just get angry and fall down the hole? You going to fall down the hole? That one did. Go on, that's it. Just fall to your doom. That's it, piggos. Bye-bye. Oh, I've just looked at an enderman. Don't do that. Let's see how many of these chests we can get away with looting, shall we? Well, Well, I think I've taken what I can. The pigos are a bit angry at me now because I had to swap out my gold helmet to hold the diamond one, and there's still a bunch of chests I've not even opened. But I think we're going to have to leave this place for now because I am full of cool stuff and some stuff I just have no idea what it is. And this was miles away from where we actually came in. This is where we started, so I might take a slight loop round this way and just see if there's any other structures along the way, because we can always come back and explore them later. We're getting too distracted. We've got a factory to build, but I really do need a blaze. Well, there is another structure, but it looks very similar to the one I was just at. Yeah, it looks like another piglin village, which means still no blazes. Well, we've made it home, and all we found was a couple more piglin villages, so we've got plenty to explore when we go back, but we haven't found what we were actually looking for, which is a little bit frustrating, so I wonder if there's another way to get blaze? So I've done a bit of research, and it looks like I might be able to spawn blazes if I make fell pumpkins, which, funnily enough, I do actually have one of those already sitting over here because we got it for a quest reward. I just didn't realize it could be used to make a thing, so let's see if this works. Let's grab some iron bars, and I'm sure nothing will possibly go wrong over here. Don't worry, Jeff. Just stay behind the wall. You'll be fine. And we put 2 iron bars, and then we put this on top. And ideally, we just want to try and catch it straight away in this blaze burner. So let's give this a go. Oh my god, it worked! It worked! Yes! I can't believe we did all that in the nether and all we had to do. Oh my days. On the plus side, it does mean we can make absolutely loads of them, and I completely forgot I was still wearing this, so I'm going to take all this off. I look absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I'm keeping the top hat, obviously. Right, well, I'm going to get all this stuff organised. We've got a right mess of stuff in our inventory now, and then we can actually crack on with what we're supposed to be doing today. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Hey, would you look at that? We've actually completed our getting started quests. If we just click this... Ah, beautiful, we are done. But what I'm here to look at is this one here, because there's other things that we need to do off to the side here, but what I actually want is a mechanical mixer. So yeah, we need to make ourselves one of these, which is going to give us a basin, and then we can crack on and actually make some brass. So let's get the brass production sorted first, shall we? Well, actually, just before we do that, we are going to need a whole bunch more blaze burners, and if I remember correctly, there we go, we did actually buy some pumpkin seeds from that very first trader we saw, although we only brought one, so this could take a while, but we're going to need more blazes, and that means we're going to need more pumpkins. So let's just quickly get this planted outside. We can keep an eye on it, and we're just going to basically try and get as many as we can. We need ideally about 20 or so for our power station. I mean, we're probably not going to need that many, but I like to be prepared. And we might as well bone mill this to give it a bit of a head start. There we go. So let's see if we can get a brass production line set up, shall we? And just like that, we're making brass. So we've got our blaze burner down here, which we do need to fuel up. So I've just been throwing coal at it every now and then. And what that is doing is heating this basin. And this has copper coming in from that side, zinc coming in from that side, and then that's spitting out brass for us, which is all going in here. And, well, that's it really. There's not really much else to explain, but that's going to work an absolute treat for us. So I'm just going to make sure that's fully fueled up, and hopefully we'll have a whole bunch of brass when we come back. So with brass production running, and of course with pumpkins growing... Wow, that's quick. Jeez. I've literally just bone milled that. Oh my days. Okay, we're going to get pumpkins nice and quickly. I like this. So as I was trying to say, now that we've got pumpkins growing, we've got brass production happening, what we need to do is sort out the storage on these farms that we built before, because if we have a look in some of these boxes, they're getting pretty full up already. And what I want to do is move all this stuff over to main storage. I think I've got an idea on how we're going to do it, and it basically involves the middle of this island. So if we dig straight down, bloop, that's going to bring us down to all the space under here, and we've got lots and lots and lots of space down here. So I think what I want to do is build up some kind of a conveyor system to get all of the resources from the farms into one corner, and then we're going to fling them onto the other island. To put it simply, what I mean by that is that we're going to use one of these. So if we just quickly hook this up to some power, we'll see it charge up. Oh, we've overstressed the contraption. Maybe we won't. Let's remove this, and hopefully that will give us enough leeway. There we go. So basically that pulls back, and when anything lands on it, it gets flung somewhere. And what you can do is this thing here actually sets up to like 32 blocks away, I think. So for example, if we choose a location of that spot there, and we put the flinger in there, anything that lands on here is going to land over on that spot that we've just identified. So it'll pull back, and then it'll fling it. And look at that. It's landed exactly where we hoped it would. We will, of course, need to make this go very, very fast so that it can just go ping, 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 and fling our food all the way across the gap. At least that's the hope. But first up, I need to actually get everything from there into one spot on that island, so I guess that's what we're going to be working out first. I think to make my life a little bit easier, actually, before we go too deep, I'm going to make myself a lovely backpack and give it a few upgrades, just so we can carry more stuff, because my inventory keeps getting full up, and it's really quite annoying. annoying. So it's taken a while, but I think I've made some good progress. So we now have belts that go all the way from underneath each chest. Things are just fed down via a chute. So for example, up here, I think is the flax and the berries. So when stuff gets harvested, it drops down onto here and instantly, oh, look, just like that. So there we go. There's a berry that's just come through, and then that gets picked up here, which goes into this giant vault. And this basically stores everything from all 4 farms. And as we have seeds coming through as well, you'll see the seeds get pooped out the bottom. They will just go into a fire or something at some point, but for now, the important thing is that they don't remain inside the vault. And this is just kind of like a buffer, really. So this is going to store everything that comes out of the farms that we do want to keep. The problem with vaults is we can't actually access them directly, so we're going to have to also put a funnel here with another filter that's got all the farm items on, and then they'll get pushed out this way. And I believe if we jump up on here, yay, look at that, we get thrown all the way onto this conveyor belt, and that's what's going to happen to the food. However, this currently goes nowhere, so I guess our next step is going to be to build up something over here to actually store all of this food. And I guess that means we are actually going to be ripping out the cog wall. I'm mildly sad about that. I have actually broken my lift anyway, so yeah, I'm going to need to kind of rebuild this whole thing. So I might as well just rip it all out for now. That is amazing. Look at that. It's flinging tomatoes across the map. Excellent. So this works, and the good thing is I can't accidentally pick them up if I get in the way either. They'll always land on this because they're basically not an entity when they're in the air. But if you look at that, look, they get flung out the side of the island, they land on this conveyor belt, and then once they're inside, they just go into this controller extension, which is basically the same as one of these, but you can place it up to 10 blocks away from the sort of centralized one, and it just sort of expands it. So anything that goes into here will get fed into storage. But I've also put in this little contraption here, so if anything goes in here that doesn't have a place in storage, it will just end up in this obsidian barrel. It basically gets sorted into this sort of unlocked drawer, and then it gets pulled out by the chute and put in here. So for example, an andesite mesh doesn't have a home in there, so if anything happens to fall on there, it has actually just shot through that, and look at that, straight into there. So it did take a little bit longer than expected, but I'm just glad the thing works. Excellent. So the next thing I want to do is to make our power plant, and for that we're going to need lots and lots of blazes. So let's just do this and catch our blazes in cages. Oh, no, I've run out of cages. I've run out of cages to capture them in. This was not good. Okay, you need to die, sir. But we do now have 19 blaze burners, which is more than we're going to need. I'm probably just going to start this power station off with 8, but it's always good to be prepared for expansion, I guess. So for our power station, we're going to need steam engines. So let's have a little look at the ponder and work out how these are made, shall we? So on looking into it a little bit deeper, it would appear that it might be a little bit beyond me at the moment, purely because we don't really have a fuel source for these. Because, well, to generate steam, we need to feed these, and these basically use the same fuel as furnace, which is things like coal, which we will eventually get from our ore factory, and also wood and stuff like that. But basically things that we just don't have automated at the moment. So before we can build our power plant, we need to somehow automate a fuel source, and then hopefully that's going to keep these things burning. I wonder, how can we do this efficiently? I have a feeling we're about to cut to one of those, this is what I'm going to do, but while I'm actually doing it things. So before we can do anything, we're going to need a lot of temporary power. So we'll build a wall-to-wheel power plant with those big boy wheels, then we'll grab our cobble generators and feed the results directly into a vault. Meanwhile, we'll construct a mechanical crafter, temporarily of course, by the power plant in order to make giant grindstones. We'll then extract the cobble, grind it into gravel and feed it into another vault. Then we'll have an array of sifters going super fast and feed multiple channels of gravel into these. A super fast conveyor belt will feed all the results into yet another vault that will filter out the coal along the way into its own storage drawer. No need for a vault there. See, look, I knew it. But it's the best way for me to edit down these bits where I don't really know what I'm doing. Otherwise, you would have had about 3 hours of waffling as I was trying to figure things out. But everything is now working as I hoped. And our temporary power station, to be honest, I quite like it, and I might end up keeping it just to power these bits here, but it's certainly not going to have enough power for the long term. So these vaults are actually really cool as well, because they store just vast amounts of stuff, and what I've actually done, if we go around to this vault at the back here, so this one here is storing up all of the things that aren't coal. So what I've done is I've got a threshold switch, so this is where it's up to at the moment, volume-wise, how full it is, but when it gets to here, it's going to send a redstone signal to this little device, and that is connected all the way over here right at the base of our power station. So when that gets really full, it will trigger a redstone switch. That's going to trip this clutch and it's going to turn the whole thing off. And the good thing is, as I empty it, when it gets back down below here, it will turn back on again and everything will just start producing again. So it should be good for us, I think. But most importantly, we're getting coal. As you can see, this is being ejected and launched over here. And, well, we've already got 1.3k coal, so that's pretty good as well. And although we're now in a position where we can set up our steam-based power station, I think that might have to wait till next episode because this has taken absolutely hours. You come to have a look, have you, Jeff? Okay, have a look around. Feel free. Just don't get in any trouble.